Hello YouTube, in this video I'm going to be making a hobgoblin from the 1988 movie Hobgoblins. So I'm starting with a wooden block as a base and I've just drilled a couple of holes using this little drill vise in both sides. Then I fed some 2mm aluminium wire into the holes, stuck them in with super glue. 2mm aluminium wire is really easy to twist. So you can see there I twisted up to form the legs, this shape around the body. I've done a little cross section across there as well. Obviously the arms are twisted, the head's twisted, and then I've covered that with aluminium foil, just squashed it onto the main sort of body shape. A decent pair of wire cutters is obviously really essential for snipping off the wire at various points. And here I've made the arms too long so that I can always trim them down a bit later on when I decide exactly how long I want the arms to be. All of these initial stages are obviously just to get the main overall form of the character, but they're all really quick to do. So you can see here I've squashed more aluminium foil onto the legs and the arms, a little bit on the head. I'd added a couple of ears separately as well, and again I can work over the top of those later. Remember, these figure sculpts have to go through quite a few stages where they look pretty rough and pretty bad before they end up looking amazing at the end. So the next stage on this is to give it a skin of milliput. This is a two-part putty and you mix the two parts together in equal amounts and it sets rock hard at room temperature in about 4 hours. This box is obviously from silver grey milliput, one of my favourite milliput colours to use, but I'm actually going to be using the standard yellow grey milliput on this particular sculpt. If you've never tried Milliput before, go out and get yourself a box or two. You will not be disappointed. Okay, so here's how he's looking with his skin. You can see I've just put it on really loosely. It's very rough. There's a lot of cracks and things in it. That does not matter. Again, this is just giving me the overall form of my figure. You can see I drilled 3 more holes in each side and I stuck some more aluminium wire in to make these long toes. I'm going to have his toes kind of sticking out over the edge on this one, just for something a little bit different. He actually should have 4 toes, but I just thought I'd make the 3 toes to start with and then I can add the extra one on. It's really just to give his feet some strength. Okay, with the fingers, you can see here I added some more aluminium wire, wrapped it around the wire that I had already for the arms, and I've made these 4 separate fingers for each hand. They're really long at the moment, and I can decide if I need to kind of trim them down a little bit later on. It's always better to make things a little bit longer than you think, so you've got a bit of room for maneuver if you need to trim a bit off. This is where I'm going to put the extra toe on the inside here, but you can see I've just done very loose toe shapes for now, and then I'll add to them later on. Okay, this is with more milliput added to make the eyebrow ridges. I've put a great big lump on the front of his face for the sort of muzzle area. On the ears, I've gone around the wires that I had there. I've done a thin sheet and I've made them concave so they kind of dip in. And then on the fingers, I've just put a great big lump on each finger, and I've smoothed them in a little bit. The milliput is still soft here, so I can still mold this. And then I'm going to go in and make all the bumps for like his knuckles and things like that. So there'll be some bits that are thinner than others. Quite a bit more work to do there. On the toes, you can see I've added the extra toe on the inside, and that's nice and firm. It's a lot shorter, that toe, but I've still got all the sort of bumpy bits and things to add to the toes as well. So everything is looking really basic, but he's starting to look like a hobgoblin. Next, I rolled lots of long thin sausages of milliput to form the ribs. I just pressed them in at the edges using a ball stylus tool. I added the bumps on the top of his head, and I've also added the folds and things on the inside of his ears. That was done by just making a very, very thin sheet of milliput. When we stand back and look at him at this stage, he's looking really quite basic and quite rough. But all of the next stages are the bits that are going to really refine him. So if you have a look at how he looks now, and then have a look at how he looks at the next stage where I've refined him quite a bit. Here you go. You can see I've added wrinkles and things to the front of his muzzle. I've added his nose with his nostrils. I've gone in and I've added the ridges around the ears, and that totally kind of completes the ears. On the lips, I've added the lower lip and lots of wrinkles into that. I made the gums, and I already had a lot of long thin teeth already made, so I just pushed them into the gums while the gums were soft. I needed the front of his body to have a lot of kind of skin textures on it. So what I did was I coated it with a layer of super PVA glue or wood flooring PVA glue. Whatever PVA glue you can find that is stronger than sort of kids PVA glue. Then I just went over the top with some kitchen paper or paper towel if you live in the US. And you can see I just painted all that on with a brush. It's kind of like paper mache. You put it over and it dries and you get all of those little wrinkles from the paper showing up. I did a similar thing here with the claws, added the claws on, then I went over with the PVA glue and the kitchen paper. Obviously the PVA glue looks white when you first put it on, but it's going to dry clear and then you end up painting it anyway. But it really strengthens all the claws and things, so they're not going to just fall off. You can imagine claws like this sticking out on the end of long fingers. They might occasionally get knocked in the future, so it's a good idea to strengthen them as much as you can. So next I was ready for the first painting stage, and I decided to paint him completely black initially. I'm using System 3 acrylic paints to do all of the painting stages on this, apart from later when I'll do a bit of airbrushing as well. So if you're ever painting a character black as your initial painting stage, water down your acrylic paint just a little bit. That will mean that the black can get really deep into all of those little kind of gaps and crevices and things. Later on, as we do all of the dry brushing, that's obviously all the brighter colours, and they're on all of the kind of higher up areas. So this was the first dry brushing that I did with this green colour. And what you're doing is taking your green colour on your brush, use a really old brush that's all kind of frayed and a bit rubbish. Rub it on a bit of kitchen paper or paper towel until it's almost dry, and then just start painting over the top sort of surfaces of your character. And you can see what happens is all of the deepest areas remain black, all the high up areas remain green. Okay, this was my second pass with an even brighter green. So I think I'm using olive green mixed with a small amount of emerald green, and you can add a bit of yellow into it as well. I really love the colour scheme on this one with all the greens and pinks as well. So you can see the next stage here, look, I added some pinks to his like lips, the inside of his ears, the nose, and I've done it on the claws initially as well, but I'm going to add some sort of yellow ochre colour to the claws as well. I think he's looking like really cool at this stage, and I was really pleased. I was thinking I can't wait to do his eyes because his eyes are going to kind of finish him off nicely. By the way, at this point, I had also given him another coating of the Super PVA glue over the whole figure, and that's given him this slightly shiny effect. Obviously, when I first painted him, he was white all over with the PVA glue, and I've waited for that to dry, and he's nice and, like I say, glossy looking. He's got a slight wet look to him, which I really like. I've also painted the base a really bright green, and I think that kind of helps set him off a little bit as well. So basically all that is left to do is to add his fur and also paint his eyes, which are going to be like the nice little touch that's going to really kind of bring him to life. So the eyes I decided to do really, really vibrant yellow, and that is just a case of taking some cadmium yellow and mixing some white in with it, and that makes it more opaque as well, so it covers better. Remember, the eyes were really dark up until the point that I painted them yellow. The fluff I've added on, this was just from an old dog toy. It's actually the same fluff that I used to do um, Stripe the gremlin. I did his sort of Mohican with this same sort of fur. So I'm gluing the fur on in sections. So I did it under his chin first, and obviously on the top of his head, starting to build that up. Then if you look here, the fur down his arms, it's kind of like in more like big sheets really. I just cut it straight off of this dog toy, And rather than stick individual little clumps on like I did on his head, I just put a great big sheet down each arm, stuck that on, and on the sides of his body I've done it as well, in his sort of groin area and his lower legs. I've built that all up. Now, what you'll notice here is it's just white next to green. When you look at the actual fur that's used on the hobgoblins in the movie, they've got dark roots to all of the fur. It's not just white, it's kind of greyish colour at the base. So I decided to take some liquid acrylic black ink and run it through my airbrush, and I was able to spray it into the roots. So like if you look under the chin there, you can see there's all that sort of black fading into the white. I did the same on the top of his head. And it just means that you're not going straight from green to white. You go from green to kind of black to white. So you get a nicer fade and it kind of ties it in more to the whole overall hobgoblin. So I was really pleased with how he ended up looking. I think he's really kind of striking and he'll look really great on a shelf with obviously Stripe, my gremlin, Gizmo, critters, ghoulies, all that kind of thing. I recently made a munchie from the movie Munchies as well. That is another movie that's sort of really low budget. It was kind of like a nod to Gremlins. And this one, this movie, I don't know if I recommend you watching it or not. I mean, I really liked it, but I really like sort of cheesy old 80s movies anyway. And particularly, I like things with really weird creatures in. So this was just another one really to kind of add to my collection. It's a great looking creature, and quite often with this sort of thing, I just prefer the creatures to the actual movie. It is, like I say, really low budget, and it's one of those where it's sort of so bad that it's good. The original Hobgoblins movie was made in 1988. There was a Hobgoblins 2 movie as well that was made in 2009, but I haven't actually got around to watching that yet. You can see on the teeth, I obviously painted them white, but I put a little bit of yellow ochre on the roots as well. It's a similar thing with the slits in the eyes. I painted them black and then I just did a little bit of yellow ochre around the edges just to soften it in a bit to the yellow of the irises. I think you'll agree he looks pretty mischievous. You can imagine him getting up to no good. If you're watching this and you know of any other movies with strange, similar sorts of little creatures in, let me know in the comments because I didn't even know about munchies up until recently, and I didn't know about hobgoblins either. So they're two movies that I've only just heard about, and as soon as I saw the creatures that were in them, I knew that I had to make them. If there are any other movies out there that I don't know about, I need to know about them so that I can make the creatures from them, especially if they're 80s movies, which are the ones that I tend to like the most. Nowadays, of course, so much of everything is CGI'd, which is a real shame. All of the original kind of movie puppets and things are what I think brought everything to life. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out some of my other videos of other movie creatures that I've made. I've done a lot now. There's loads of them. A lot of them will be instantly recognizable to you. A lot of them are also a bit more obscure like this one. I'd like to thank Milliput for sponsoring this channel and sending me free Milliput from time to time. It really helps me obviously make all of these sculpts and it keeps me sculpting continuously. Hit the like button if you like this video, it really helps my channel. Hit the subscribe button though, that will help my channel even more. And it also means you get to see anything that I post up in the future. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next video.